You know, sometimes the deck is great on paper, but it just doesn't work out. Usually it's consistency issues or just underperforming. A great way to fix that is maybe an upgraded card engine. Now, whether it be a meta contender or a fun janky build, we all want our decks to perform well. I'm CK, welcome back to Digi-Engines. Thank you for tuning into Digi-Engines. Now today we're going to be looking at some black card engines. Specifically, we're going to look at two. Now first off, we're going to look at the Doru engine, and I think this is one that goes under the radar for a lot of people. We'll expand into the Doruga SOC type engine that also exists. It's very similar or kind of falls in the same vein, sometimes goes together. And the other one we're going to look at is the Haguru engine that kind of feeds into the cyborg machine archetypes. Now the first one we're going to look at is the Doru engine. Now this has been around since BT7 and actually does still see play, and it all focuses on two main cards, the BT7 Dorimon egg and the BT7 Dorumon rookie. Now the first part of this, as we mentioned, is the BT7 Dorimon. Now this is a level 2 Digimon that states, your turn, when one of your effects places a Digimon card under this Digimon, draw one. Very good draw engine to keep your cycle going. Black sometimes suffers from being able to draw enough cards or keep enough cards in hand. Now with that egg, you want to couple it with the BT7 Dorumon. Now we don't use the on-play effect for a lot of decks unless you're playing Alphamon or something that falls within the X-Antibody line. And we really want this card for the inherited effect, and it has the exact same triggering scenario that the Dorimon has. And it states, your turn, once per turn, when you place a card under this Digimon as a Digivolution card, gain one memory. Now there are a few decks that do have the ability to tuck cards under and add Digivolution sources. One, for example, could be black-based Three Musketeers. Now Three Musketeers using the black base could utilize this engine very well because the option cards have the ability to tuck themselves under Digimon, therefore adding Digivolution sources. Also, with the prevalence of Mind Leak, any sort of black SOC or even Digipolice to a certain extent could utilize this combo as well, because usually your tamers have the Mind Leak ability, which again is a way to add Digivolution cards. And basically, if you can get a stack out that you can Mind Link, remove, you can kind of keep gaining an extra memory and draw every turn. A black-based Numemon deck could also take advantage of this situation, being able to retuck Satsuki every turn and being able to draw a card and gain a memory every turn. There were some iterations of Machinedramon, black-based Machinedramon, that also could utilize this engine because, again, being able to tuck sources under when you digivolve into the BT11 Machinedramon, for example, or a Chaosdramon that was able to add sources was a way to kind of reduce your evolution costs and keep drawing into more resources, as that deck is very resource hungry and needs the draw power. Now in that same vein of using the Dorumon line, another engine that gets some use is the BT16 Dorugamon paired with the BT17 Dexdorugamon. Now this Doruga engine is another way that black kind of feeds off the purple engines, and it is a dual color. Both of these are black and purple, and although there's a lot of purple decks that utilize this engine, we're considering it a black engine because it is black first, and the ability to trash one to draw one, getting that cycle going, very good for a couple decks. Like we just mentioned, Machinedramon could utilize this effect to kind of cycle and get the correct cards in trash. There are some iterations of Justimon that are now using this little Dorugamon package to help cycle. And then of course you have the black SOC decks that can utilize this very well. A purple deck that comes to mind is obviously Fenrilugamon. Now Fenrilugamon obviously has its own line and can perform well on its own, but there are some people who prefer using the Dorugamon engine to kind of help the Takamikazuchi get an extra chip and damage to guarantee the OTK turn. Now enough about Dorugamon. Now we mentioned Machinedramon a lot because Machinedramon can utilize a lot of different engines. There have been purple based, there have been red based, blue based Machinedramon, of course black based as we're talking about today. Now another engine that Machinedramon can capitalize and a few decks can capitalize is the Hagurumon engine. Now Hagurumon is very well poised to help basically any machine or cyborg deck out, and there are quite a few. Black is very heavy into the machine and cyborg based Digimon, so this works perfectly for them. Now taking a look at the engine, the first one we're going to look at is the BT15 Hagurumon. Now this Hagurumon has on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with a machine or cyborg trait, and 1 black tamer among them. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Very good search, finding your pieces and adding those tamers. Again, I keep mentioning this is very good card for Machinedramon. Now when you pair this with the BT16 Hagurumon X-Antibody, and that takes this card up a notch. Now we have on-play search, and now we have a free evoke to basically give us another free draw. On top of that, when you go into Hagurumon X-Antibody, it has the when digivolving effect, and it's at level 3, so the only way to get a when digivolving effect on level 3 in the battle area is to have a Hagurumon already on board that you can digivolve over. But the when digivolving effect states, you may play one Ko-Hagurumon. Now the Ko-Hagurumon itself is a token Digimon that's 1000 DP, but it has blocker and decoy black. This is a token Digimon, and it also can't attack, but is a very good defensive part of any black strategy. Having a free blocker come out and a free decoy body to protect any of your black Digimon on board is very, very crucial to a lot of black decks, because black decks typically need to survive to the next round. They usually have a big pop-off turn to set up something defensive, and it's basically deal with this or I'm going to hurt you next turn. Another Hagurumon that you can kind of pair into this engine is the old DX1 Hagurumon, which has the effect of, on play, you may trash one Digimon card with a machine or cyborg trait to draw 2. Both of these Hagurumons kind of need to be on board. You can Digivolve and Raising, push out, and then go into the X-Antibody, but typically you're dropping one of these on board, and hopefully you have the 3 member to keep turn and move up. If not, you got to hope it survives to the next turn, but you're really resource gathering with this engine, and it's really about searching your pieces and getting a free little decoy blocker out to kind of sustain yourself and basically buy yourself another turn. Now, some decks that could utilize this is basically anything that has a machine or cyborg top end or focus build. Now, Machinedramon is the easy giveaway. Justimon is one that actually could utilize this deck very well, because Justimon is a cyborg Digimon. On top of that, we have Invisimon, who Invisimon has been a little hit or miss. Invisimon himself has been a very, very good card and a very nice addition to other decks, but its own deck is a little hit or miss. But utilizing the Haguru package does help it push along. And then, of course, if we're talking about a cyborg machine package, we can't fail to mention the new BT20 SBmon. BT20 SBmon can work in just about any machine cyborg focused build, as long as that's what you're digivolving into for your level 4s. Now, it does cost 1 to digivolve over any blue or black egg, but if you are digivolving over a Kapurimon, now Kapurimon is not in short supply. We do actually have a couple of Kapurimon options in black, but it does digivolve over one of those Kapurimon for 0 cost. What makes this SBmon very good in any machine or cyborg deck, and an honorable mention to be added into this Haguru package to kind of round off the bottom end of almost any cyborg machine build, is that it has the effect that your turn, when this Digimon would digivolve into a Digimon with cyborg or machine trait, reduce the digivolution cost by 1. In the inherited effect, it has the all turns this Digimon gains 1000 DP. So if you're going for an aggressive build or a defensive build, you have that DP boost plus that evolution reduction to kind of climb up quicker, as black tends to be a little bit on the slower side. Well, that's your quick look at 2 black Digi-Engines. Hopefully these give you some ideas and some options for your future builds in any black deck that you are currently working on. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm CK. You've been watching Digi-Engines. We'll see you in the next one.